I recently batch recorded 6 videos in a row all in one day using a teleprompter, and I want to share some of the tips and some of the kind of weird little things I ran into. This is the Elgato prompter. They sent this to me when they released it, and I know right now they're on back order. Somebody offered to buy this. No. I do actually use it, but I'm not using it now, obviously, because it's in my hand. One of the first things that I noticed specifically with the Elgato prompter, this is just a monitor, as if you're just plugging your computer into a monitor. It's upside down because it's actually facing the glass so that you can see it. If your desktop wallpaper that you have, like I have a Mac, so I like the colorful Mac wallpapers, it's gonna cast this colorful hue onto you. So mine was like a purple, pinkish. Every time I plug this in and it picks this up as a monitor, this is set to have a completely black desktop background. Tried white, and white sort of made everything, it looked like there was like a filter. There's a lot of questions about teleprompter apps and why do you even need a teleprompter? You can just use an app. And the whole point of the teleprompter is so that you can look at your camera while you're seeing the words. So an app on your computer or an app on your phone or something is not a teleprompter. It's just a script. And I think the reason why I never really was interested in using a teleprompter or trying a teleprompter was because I didn't want to read the words as they scroll. Like, I just didn't think that would work for me, and it doesn't. So I'm not using any teleprompter app at all. Although the Elgato prompter comes with an app. As soon as you plug it in, you have the Elgato prompter app. I just close that out. I don't even use it at all. Instead, it just becomes a second desktop. It's just literally just a second desktop where I can drag my browser window to that desktop. So I have my script, which is inside of Notion, and I'll put that on the desktop. I have to put Notion into dark mode to make sure it doesn't cast a weird hue. And I just bump up the magnification so that I can see the words and make sure, like, if you look at this, right, this is where the lens is coming through the teleprompter. See how you can see through that? The lens sees through that. So you have this big screen. If your words are going from here to here, then you're going to be darting back and forth as you're reading. So you actually need your browser window to show up, like just the words to show up where your lens is coming through the hole. So I just adjust my browser window so that all of my words are just like fitting into here. And then I just use my mouse just to scroll up. It's just a browser window. I promise it's not sorcery or something. It's literally just words in the browser window. They're not scrolling. I just go at my own pace. Now, I came across a clip from Nate Bargatze when he was on SNL. If I can find it, I'll play it for you here.
I was like looking right at the camera, just being like, oh, the other day I went to the, you can tell that you're reading. And it's more of like, you look and you kind of grab the line. It's like the Nate Bargatze good problem to have poster behind it. You just kind of like grab it and you're like, good problem to have. And then we went to Beeman Lobby and maybe I grab it there and I say it there and then I kind of grab it back there.
And I think for most people creating YouTube videos, what he said about using a teleprompter is spot on, because it's not like you're a newscaster. You don't have to read it word for word, but you can sort of grab the words as you go and then formulate real sentences that are understandable. I just got off of a Zoom call with a client who asked me this question about, like, how do you actually read from the teleprompter and have it not sound robotic? I mentioned that a couple weeks ago, I recorded 6 videos in a row all on one day with the help of a teleprompter, and I had everything word for word scripted out. And here's what I will say about that experience. To me, recording 6 videos in a day is insanely productive. It's like 6 times more productive than I normally would be. So I loved the feeling of getting so many videos done at one time. But when I went to edit them, once I got to like 5 and 6, I could definitely see how my energy was very low and I was just reading from the teleprompter and it was really boring. No facial expression, no energy, no personality. And I was like editing them going, oh my gosh, these are really bad. You can punch things up with some B-roll. Note to self for next time, if I decide to record 6 videos in a row or anything monumental like that, I need to maybe take a break, play some music, get the blood pumping again. Although, yes, I got the 6 videos done, very productive, congratulations, pat on the back. That's not actually going to help you or your channel if they're boring and robotic and you're just reading from a teleprompter. You know what I mean? If I could go back and probably for next time, if I know that I'm in a batch record, maybe don't script them word for word. So I almost like don't even give myself the opportunity to get boring and robotic. If I just give myself bullet points, a list, maybe some points that I know I want to make sure to make, then it's gonna like make my brain stay awake and attentive. At the end of the day, using a teleprompter takes practice. Talking to a camera takes practice. It's not natural. This is not a normal, natural thing to be doing. I mean, people who go to school for like being a news anchor take classes in how to read from a teleprompter and talk to a camera. And we're just out here figuring it out on our own. There's no one right way to do it. And if you're anything like me, sometimes it just depends on my mood, whether I use a teleprompter or not. And if I'm using the teleprompter, whether I script the whole thing or just use bullet points, kind of depends how I feel that day. But you know, I'm all for creating a set it and forget it YouTube setup so that actually hitting record is really easy for you to do. And if adding a teleprompter to your setup is going to make you more productive and going to make your videos better and make it so like you can record more videos in less time, then I'm all for it. But the one thing I want you to take away from this is be patient with yourself, because using a teleprompter is maybe possibly like one of the most tweakable things that you will have to do as a creator if you choose to use a teleprompter. You have to tweak the angle of your camera, how far away it is from you, because you need to be able to see the words and your camera needs to be able to see you, and everything you want to be in frame needs to be in frame and everything you don't want needs to not be in frame. And so it takes some tweaking, and then once you have a setup, it takes some practice to actually use. So if you want to see how the Elgato prompter is set up, I have a video showing how I set it up and all of the different kind of components and how it works and how it slides onto the camera so easily. I love that. And I also have a video on my newer teleprompter that you can use with an iPad as well. That is a lot more involved in the setting up and the tweaking. But I will link that up for you as well down in the description. And if you're watching this because you want to look good, sound good, and feel good on camera, I put together the Crush It on Camera guide that starts with this set it and forget it setup, right? To create your own YouTubicle, as I like to call it. So I will link that video up for you next, and I'll see you there.